Good morning, everyone. So it is Monday. I'm off of work today because it is Memorial Day, so I don't have to go into work. And yeah, I just spent this morning cleaning because I have been in a mood lately. I'm in like a weird part of my life right now where like I'm just working and I don't have school, and you know, I'm like kind of just waiting to go off to school, and I just kind of, I'm such a school person. I feel like I don't really have like a purpose right now, if that makes sense. It's kind of strange, but that's like why I haven't uploaded in a few months. I just haven't had the, you know, the drive to do it. I just feel like I've been kind of stuck in a rut the past like few months of not really being in the mood to do anything. But we have been in a bit of a reading mood lately, so that's good. I've been kind of in a reading slump this month. I read way too much in April, and so as a result, it is like almost the end of May, and I've read 2 books, which is still fine. It's taking me forever to read anything. I started a book like at the beginning of May. I started The Fury of the Gods, and it took me until like the other day to finish it. I thought we could do a fun challenge video. I love those videos. I tried to do a challenge video. I filmed like the whole thing, and then I just was in such a reading slump that I just couldn't do it. So I deleted like all the footage because it was a major fail. I didn't complete the challenge at all. But now I'm kind of a bit more in a reading mood, so I think we can do a reading challenge. So welcome to the video. Basically, super long intro. But hello, hi. I was trying to think of what challenge to do for this video, and I was kind of going back and forth between 2 ideas. The first one being read for 2 hours a day, and then the second being read 200 pages a day. I have a lot of house sitting this week, so I won't be home a whole lot. Pretty much from Wednesday to Monday, or like Tuesday, I think, I'm gonna be at other people's houses. I go to like a couple different ones, and so I was like, how about we try and read 200 pages a day? A lot, but maybe we can get it done. So I thought that could be the game plan. So 200 pages over a week. I guess we'll take it to Sunday, so that'd be 7 days, so 1,400 pages, which is a lot, which I think would get me through quite a few books. I recently finished The Fury of the Gods by John Gwynne. That book broke my heart into a million pieces, especially with the ending, especially with like a certain character, and I'm just like, whew, I am heartbroken. And so I ended up picking up Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. This has been on my physical TBR since it came out, I think. It has really cool sprayed edges. These are the only like patterned spray edges that I own. I have a few like sprayed edges from the Tomes and Tea, what is it, a quartet. There's going to be a 4th book coming out in August, but they're just, you know, sprayed. I don't have any with a pattern, so this is really cool. I needed something happy after I read The Fury of the Gods. I was going through it. I'm not even joking when I say I teared up with reading the end of the book and like everything that I went through with that book. I don't tear up very easily with books, to be completely honest, but that one made me want to cry pretty bad. Anyway, so I picked up Deep End. I am happy I picked this up also because it is another book off my physical TBR. I'm trying to do like 2 per month from my physical TBR. I read a lot from my library. I read a lot from Kindle Unlimited, so I feel like 2 is a good number. I don't really have a big physical TBR. That's a lie. I don't know, maybe like 40 something books. I've been slowly chipping away at it, and so I was like, I feel like I could cut that in half pretty easily this year if I just read 2 each month. So that's what we've been doing. So this was my second physical TBR pick of the month, And yeah, I've been really enjoying this so far. I was really hesitant getting into it because I did not enjoy Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. I really didn't like that one. And then I'm trying to remember if I read Bride before that or after that. I can't really remember. I think I was late to the party with Bride, but I did actually enjoy Bride quite a bit. And so when she came out at the deep end, I was like, oh, college, like sports romance, that sounds great. So I ended up buying a physical copy, but I've been really enjoying this. I'm almost done. So this is about Scarlett and Lucas. Scarlett is a competitive diver and Lucas is a competitive swimmer. Both are on the Stanford swim and dive team. It's the Olympics year, so things are kind of revving up for that. Scarlett is coming back from like a really bad injury, and so she is trying to kind of get over, you know, a lot of mental blocks in doing these dives again. She's also applying to med school, and so we kind of just see her going through swimming and like classes, diving and classes, and also meeting up with Lucas. And so Lucas is our competitive swimmer. He's actually dating someone at the beginning of this book named Penelope, Pen for short, who is another diver and who Scarlett slowly becomes better friends with throughout the novel. And what happens is that Lucas and Pen actually break up like pretty early in the novel, and there's a really funny scene where Pen kind of reveals something about Scarlett and like Lucas together, well, mainly about Scarlett, and it kind of starts the book, I guess, with, you know, the two characters being interested in each other. So I don't know how much of these things are a spoiler. I don't know like what the marketing of this book was into, but or was like about or chose to market, I don't know. But yeah, so that's all I'll say. But I've been really enjoying it. I think Scarlett and Lucas are a lot of fun, and yeah, I just really like Ali Hazelwood. She writes the same story over and over again, you know, the same characters. Like you could probably put, you know, Adam and Olive into one book, into like this book, and they'd be pretty much the same, but I just love it and I eat it up every time. It's just such a fun read. And so I need to see, I know she's releasing a few other things this year, so I need to see what she's releasing and see if I'm interested in any of that. But yeah, anyway, so I've been really enjoying this. So I have about 150 pages I think left, so I'm hoping to finish this today. I have nothing to do. It's Memorial Day, I'm doing nothing. I can definitely finish this. This is very like a very quick and easy read, so I've been flying through it. And yeah, so that's gonna be the plan for today, definitely to finish this book, and then we'll have to figure out what 50 pages else I will be reading. But I am currently reading 2 other books. So the other physical TBR book is Demons by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I'm trying to read this over the course of 2 months. I have my little classics like book club that I do. It's just me, but every 2 months I try and read a new classic. I would like to bump that up eventually to like every month, but some of the classics are quite chunky, so I don't know how that would work, especially because I'm reading like other stuff. But for now, we're doing every 2 months, and as you can see, I'm like kind of really enjoying this. So I'm on page 312, and so essentially Demons follows 2 guys named Verhovinsky and Stavrogen. I'm gonna tell you right now that if I'm pronouncing any of these names wrong, I do apologize. I don't speak Russian. They're essentially leaders of a Russian revolution kind of thing in their area, I think, and so they kind of want to overthrow the government, destroy society, and seize power for themselves. Eventually they are about to be discovered, and some things happen, and they need to question kind of their loyalty to the cause, and, you know, how far they are willing to go to overthrow the government, basically. So yeah, this is also called Devils. I don't know why it's been published as Demons, but it's also known as Devils, so if you're confused, that's why. But yeah, I have been really enjoying this so far. Not much has happened in the first like 300 pages. I'd say like 250, and then finally things are like getting going. We have finally met like our final, not our final person, but like kind of our final main character, I'm assuming. Maybe not, but there's still, you know, so many other pages, but I feel like we've met, you know, our 2 people that are going to be instrumental in this novel. I don't really know what all to say about this. Like I said, not much is happening right now. We're kind of just laying the groundwork, introducing the characters, and whatnot, but I think we should be starting to get more into the book now, because I read on Reddit that once you hit like the 300 page mark, I can't remember where I was at, my grandma wanted to talk to me about teapots. So anyway, but yeah, I've been making slow progress through this and I've been really enjoying it, so we're definitely going to make some more progress. I'm almost halfway. I'd like to be halfway by the end of the month. And then last but not least, on my Kindle, I'm reading The Endless Fall by Emerson Hoyt, I think. This is book 1 in the Deadwood Chronicles or something. It's kind of more of a prequel, apparently, just set up like a lot of backstory between the two characters, and then the second book is kind of where things are gonna happen. So I'm curious what's gonna happen. Like, are the two characters gonna separate at the end of the book and then they come back together in the second? I don't know. I'm not too far into this. I actually have no clue how far I'm into it. I haven't read it in a few days. It's been my gym book because I've been going to the gym. I'm probably not going to go today, though, to be honest. I'm really tired. But I had to stop it because we were getting to a spicy scene, and I feel very weird reading spicy scenes in the gym just because people are always walking behind you or there's people next to you, and you know, I'm just like, if they look over and they see, you know, the guy main character spanking the other girl character, I'm gonna feel a little awkward about that. But anyway, so The Endless Fall is about Willa Dunn, I think, and this other dude named Riker, I think is his name. Essentially, Willa lives in this really small town called Deadwood. She wants to leave. She hates it there. She's gone through a bunch of stuff, so the town kind of treats her really poorly. She lives with her dad and her brother has a best friend named Riker, and randomly he shows up out of the blue back into the small town. Things are starting to get a little weird in Deadwood because there seems to be some activity, some spooky activity going on. This book is supposed to be kind of gothic, so we are starting to get, you know, little bits and pieces of things. Recently, a few of the characters were at like a pool party thing, or not a pool party, but like an oasis lake, whatever. Everyone was partying, and there was a mysterious robed figure, and he seemed to be pouring something into the water, and so no one really knows what's going on. Willa just got left a random kind of spooky note, and so things are happening. And of course there's a romance starting to bloom potentially between Willa and Riker. Not necessarily a romance, it's still very like lusty right now. We haven't really gotten any romancing, but as these books go, there will probably be some romancing eventually. But Willa is the younger sister to the brother, I forgot the name, and the brother's best friend is the main male love interest. So it's kind of like my older brother's best friend, my brother's little sister kind of a thing. So yeah, anyway, I've been actually really enjoying it. It's my first, I think Emerson Hoyt is an indie author. I know a lot of indie authors publish through Kindle Unlimited. I've never read an indie author, I don't think. So this is like my first experience with one, and I've been really enjoying it. It's been a lot of fun. I think it is a bit of a dark romance though. I've never read a dark romance, so we'll see how this goes. But yeah, I've just been enjoying that so far, so I'll keep reading it and give y'all more details about it. But I feel like this intro has been long enough. I think I'm actually gonna knit a little bit today. I'm working on a new cardigan. Right now it's all kind of in a circle, but I'm gonna cut into it to kind of, you know, open it up. I actually hate the color orange. It is my least favorite color, but this orange was calling to me at Joann's, RIP Joann's. This orange was just calling to me, and I was like, I want like a chunky orange cardigan. So that is what I'm currently making. So I think I'm gonna knit a few rows on this, and then we will get into some reading. But yeah, I'm gonna get into some knitting, and I will talk with y'all when I start reading. Okay, bye. Hello everyone, so I'm back from the gym. I've been trying to go to the gym every day. I've been trying to do 10,000 steps a day, which if I start from 0, it takes me about an hour and 20 minutes to do, which isn't like too bad, you know? Like I feel like an hour is kind of like an average time a lot of people go to the gym, and then I'm like, let me just tack on another 20 minutes. So it's really not that bad. I have kind of not been going the past like 3 days. I've just like I've mentioned, been having a hard time with like routines lately, and like kind of, I don't know, I feel like I have no purpose right now, which kind of sounds a little stupid. Like I'm only working part-time right now. I can't find another part-time job. I've been trying, it's been really hard. I don't have school right now, so I'm kind of just in a rut because of that. Bless you, Winnie. I'm, you know, someone who thrives off a routine, so I'm trying to like cherish this time that I have left before starting school back in August, because obviously the next like 4 to 6 years are going to be just not chill probably, and like I probably won't get like another, you know, dedicated like summer really with like nothing to do. So I'm trying to like enjoy this time, but I'm going a little crazy. But it is what it is. So thankfully I went to the gym today. I was very happy about that. And I only read like 50 pages at the gym. I reached page, I think 145. No, 151. Okay, yeah. So I read 50 pages at the gym. I had to keep like turning my Kindle on and off because there were some scenes, and I just feel really uncomfortable reading spicy scenes at the gym. Because I just feel awkward with like other people, you know, around, and I'm like, I don't want to make them uncomfortable if I'm reading like smut at the gym, you know, and they happen to glance over and see it. I don't know, but yeah, so I only read about 50 pages, but that means we have 150 pages left today, and that means I can use that to finish up Deep End, because I think that's about how many pages I have left of Deep End. And then I also do want to read a bit of Demons. I'm trying to read like 15 pages a day on that, so we may get a little ahead for tomorrow. Okay, that's 149 pages, so we'll read one page of Demons to make up for that, and then I'll keep reading Demons, and then maybe tomorrow we'll do some less pages. Tomorrow we'll do less pages, and then maybe we will pick another physical read. Although I kind of want to get through my Kindle read. The book is actually quite long. It's almost 500 pages, I think, which I was not expecting when I picked it up. I just started reading it, and then like I was looking to see like how long it was, and I was like 500 something pages, or like 490. I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, I was kind of shocked about that. But kind of maybe want to focus on that since I'll have met my 2 physical TBR books, you know, for the month. And I have a few books on my TBR that I'm kind of waiting for June because they're sapphic, and I want to do another sapphic kind of month for June. And so in that case, I don't want to like start like a new series or anything. So I may just end up reading my Kindle book for the meantime. Although I am gonna have to pick another book, because between the Kindle book and then like the few pages that I'm doing of Demons, I probably won't have enough pages, so I probably will need to pick another book, and in that case I don't know what I want to do. I think those are my updates. Oh, we are getting more like events that are questionable, so like this is like a gothic contemporary kind of, and so we kind of just saw some weird like ritual going on, and so the 2 kind of main characters know about it, and the Willa, her dad is a cop, and he kind of mentioned like, oh yeah, there were a bunch of fires last night, and they don't know, it's more of like a ritualistic thing, but Willa and Riker happen to see like, you know, the hooded figures again, and so things are happening, so maybe we will get more. Actually, I think we will get a few more things in the next few chapters, because Willa is going out on the ranch that she helps out with, and they're trying to figure out why the animals, like there are some animals disappearing, and they think it's like, you know, like a predator or something, but probably not. It's probably some ritualistic sacrifice, I think is what the back cover said. Yeah, so we shall see if it really is a predator. But anyway, so I'm just having fun with that. Like I'm surprised that I'm liking that so much. Okay, hello everyone. So, apologies for my grandma's loud TV, is what it is. So, I finished Deep End by Hazelwood, and that brings our total today to 199 pages. I'm getting a little tired, and I kind of just want to like chill for the rest of the night. I'm not really in the mood to read my classic, so I think we'll just tack on my one page tomorrow. But yeah, I finished Deep End, and I'm trying to decide like a rating. Like, I want to say 5 stars, but I was reading the reviews, and a lot of people didn't like it. I think a lot of people were like thought this book was going to be like super kinky, because I think Hazelwood like marketed it as such, and then they were disappointed that it wasn't really super kinky. I personally don't really care. I wasn't really disappointed in that sense, and I did really like the characters, and yeah, I just had a fun time. So like, I kind of want to say 5 stars, but yeah, I'm gonna sit on a rating for a few days and we will think about it. But I really love this. It reminded me so much of like Love Theoretically, which I loved so much. Like, that one's my favorite Hazelwood, and I think this slots in at like number 2, to be honest. So that's kind of why I want to say like 5 stars or at least like 4.75 stars, maybe 4.5, kind of around there. I do really love it. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I thought the whole time Lucas, the swimmer, the main male character, was like asexual, because on the back it says a competitive diver and an ace swimmer, and so like the whole time I was waiting for like a conversation about asexuality, because obviously, well, I guess if you don't know this, if you're not in the queer community, but ace is like a shortened term of asexual, so a lot of people just say they're ace. And so the entire time I'm waiting for like a discussion on asexuality, and I was curious, like, you know, with like kinks and everything, how that was gonna be discussed, because asexuality is just a big spectrum. So I was curious to see what, you know, the character was gonna say, and kind of like their feelings and like where they were on the spectrum. Didn't talk about it once, so I'm thinking maybe ace swimmer is a way of saying that he's a really good swimmer. So I just thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, really enjoyed this. Happy to have another book off my physical TBR. And we're basically done with the physical TBR challenge for the month. I do need to update my reading journal. I don't know how much reading I'm gonna get done tomorrow, if I'm being completely honest. I have a few things that I need to do tomorrow after work, and I'm working a bit later, like I think I mentioned. And so it'll be interesting to see if I hit my 200-page mark tomorrow. But what was I looking for? So now that's left on the docket to read is obviously Demons. This is just kind of going to be my like challenge for like the whole week. 15 pages a day. Obviously didn't do it today, but that's fine. But I have The Endless Fall, which will become kind of like my main read other than Demons. So that means soon we're going to have to pick like a new book. And I mentioned having like stuff on my physical TBR, but a lot of it I'm saving for June. And so I forgot that I had a lot of stuff on Kindle Unlimited. Another book that I have saved right now is The Songbird and the Heart of Stone. I've been slowly reading the Crowns of Nyaxia series, and I've been really enjoying it. It's been a lot of fun. Slaying the Vampire Conqueror was like a 5-star read. I loved it. It was so fun. And so we have the third book, which I didn't realize the series was kind of done in duets. So there's multiple like houses of like vampires in the book, and the first 2 are for the House of Night, and these next 2 are for the House of Shadow, and then the next 2 are House of Blood. And so these next 2 focus on like different characters, and so I'm kind of sad because like I didn't realize that was gonna happen. And I'm like, wait, no, I really like our past 2 characters, you know? And so I'm curious to see like how they're gonna fit into, you know, this new duet, if they do at all. And then we have, I don't think anybody's gonna know what this is like book is about, but we have Paladin by Sally Slater. This is actually a Wattpad book that got published a while ago. I was a Wattpad girly, and I remember I mostly read fan fiction, but I stumbled upon this, you know, book one day, and I honestly loved it. It's like a medieval Mulan retelling, and I just had a lot of fun with it, and I still think about that book to this day. And so that's why I was like, oh yeah, she published it, so let me see if I can get it on Kindle Unlimited. And I can, so I think it'd be fun to read that. I don't know if it's as good as I remember, and I'm curious to see how it's been changed since like publishing. I'm not going to go back and read the original Wattpad, you know, version, but I do think some things have been changed potentially, so yeah, so I kind of want to go back and reread it. I also have Ice Planet Barbarians. I, again, just kind of want like a fun little book, and this one's pretty short. I think it's under 200 pages, or like just about 200 pages, and obviously it went viral on TikTok, and so I want to see what the hype is. I see some people say they like started off as a joke and then they end up really enjoying it, so I'm curious to see if that would be the case with me, and I just thought it'd be fun to do. I've never read an alien romance. My dog's whining outside. It's bedtime, but she doesn't want to go to bed. Hello everyone. So I don't have anything to like prop y'all up on right here, but I am obviously at this new house sitting. The dog is super sweet, and so I'll be here for a couple of days until like Saturday morning, and then I switch houses. So I had work. We were again a bit of a longer day because we missed Monday, but not much happened, to be honest. Summer months are usually a bit slower, which is just kind of the nature of my work. So had a bit of a chill day today, which was nice. And then I went to the grocery store, got a bunch of food for this weekend to kind of not so I don't have to like leave the house. I did get Subway though. My allergies are starting to act up. I don't think it's the dog though. The dog doesn't shed. I think we were outside on a walk. So that definitely aggravated my allergies, but it's fine. The weather is pretty nice. It's not too hot today. It rained a lot yesterday and today. Lots of storms. People are without power. But in Texas fashion, it's sunny now. So yeah, it was storming today. I couldn't go to my other work location. I had a few stuff that I needed to do over there, but I couldn't even go because it was storming so bad. Anyway, so now I'm back here. I did get a bit of reading done at the gym. I don't know how much I read. Also, I just finished Deep End, right, at the beginning of this vlog, and yesterday, or is it today? What's today's date? I can't remember. Ali Hazelwood's new book, Problematic Summer Romance, just came out. That's the one with the age gap. I don't think I've ever really read a big age gap other than like fantasy, so I don't know how that is gonna go, but maybe I'll read it like next month, like in July or something. I'm on page 201 of The Endless Fall. Last night I didn't read too much. I only read like 40 pages in total, if I'm being honest. I just had a lot to do yesterday, so I didn't really get to read. But that's okay. We'll just move on to today. So today I've read 25 pages, I think, of The Endless Fall. I went to the gym. I didn't have to go for very long. And I pretty much only read for like 25 minutes, and then I kind of stopped because I started a new chapter and I didn't want to stop in the middle of a chapter. So I read 26 pages, so that's great. So we'll probably read a lot of this today. I do want to read like 15 pages of Demons, which is, you know, my daily goal. But before we get into reading, I do want to watch a new YouTube video. A lot of people uploaded vlogs today. It's Wednesday, which I feel like, I don't know, I haven't seen so many people upload vlogs in a while, so I'm gonna watch some YouTube for a little bit, and then we will get into reading. So I read 26 pages, so plus 15 is 31, so we'll probably have to read about 170 pages of The Endless Fall, which is probably going to take me like 3 hours. So if I go to bed at 9, then that means I need to start it at 6, and I think it's almost 6, so we may also not hit the 200 page mark today, but that's okay. Might be a bit of a reading fail vlog, but that's fine. So anyway, I'm gonna get to reading. I might knit for a bit as well. And yeah, I will find a way to prop y'all up so y'all can see me reading, and yeah, anyway, okay, bye. Hello everyone, so I have y'all perched on my pencil case, which kind of sucks because I just realized my Kindle is under here. But anyway, so yesterday I read like 60 pages, so we're not doing too good with the 100 page or 200 page goal that I have in mind, but it is now the weekend. I am off of work for the rest of the weekend, and yeah, woohoo! I'm very happy about that. Thursday nights are the nights where I'll like drink tea or like drink a soft drink late in the night. I didn't want this to explode everywhere because I don't really care about staying up too late. Law and Order's on the TV right now. I've actually never seen this show. Like the SVU unit, I think is what it is. Anyway, so I've got my drink of choice, got my snacks. I think I'm gonna turn on the fan soon because I'm a little hot. I took the dog out for a walk. My ankle has been bothering me, so that's not great, but I did like hit it on a cart at work the other day. But yeah, so I only read about 60 pages yesterday, but I was pretty happy about that. I read, of course, 15 of Demons, and then I read 50 of The Endless Fall. We finally have the two characters kind of having some more spicier scenes, and we are starting to get more of like the mystery gothic aspect. We actually have kind of like animals that have been kind of torn apart, and there's missing pieces. They can't find them, and we are now also at the mansion of the main male character's brother. It's his like mansion or whatever. He like bought it and he's trying to like rebuild it and stuff, and it's kind of giving like religious cult kind of vibes because he's like, we're preparing for when like the world ends or something. So yeah, so it's getting interesting. I'm almost halfway through it, so I'm kind of hoping to finish it up tomorrow. I think that'd be good. I have nothing to do tomorrow, so I could just sit here and read all day. I will be going to the gym at some point, and then I'll just be going home, or well, here. I'm gonna be here tomorrow all day, and then I think I'm here Saturday morning, and then I'll stop by home for a little bit, and then I have to go to my other house Sunday or Saturday night, and I'm only there for a night and that morning, and then I go to another house and I'm there for that night and that morning. So that's kind of the schedule. I hope that's not a bug. There's like one mosquito in this house, and it has bit me, like, I'm not even kidding, 5 times at this point. And I know because this is the arm that was outside the blanket when I was sleeping last night. But yeah, anyway, so I also read another 20 pages today of Demons. We're kind of like starting to get somewhere with the characters and kind of like learning more about them. I don't know if I'm like reading into it wrong, but I just love Nicolay. It's editing Hailey. I do not love Nicolay anymore. Oh my god. So this particular edition of, I was about to say The Idiot, of Demons by Dostoevsky, at the very end, there's a chapter called Nicolay's Confession, Stavrogin. I can't pronounce his last name. I won't say what it is about. Just so you know. Okay, so there's evil characters that you can love, and like you can excuse the murder, you can excuse the thievery, but they're just so good, like you love the evil characters. However, there's a line that is crossed, obviously murder and thievery are bad, but there's like a particular line I feel like in literature where you can, where it's like you love an evil character and like you hate that evil character, and I feel like I just read the whole book wrong now, like after the confession. I'm not going to talk about it. I don't want to like spoil anybody in case you're interested in reading the book, but yeah, I do not like Stavergen anymore. That man is awful. Hailey was like having fun the entire book, and then that one last chapter, absolutely not. Apparently originally like the publisher of the book did not want to include that chapter, and so they took it out of like the version that was published, despite Dostoevsky really wanting it in the book. So now a lot of editions either put that in the book where it was meant to be, or they'll add it in like an appendix section. And so in this particular edition, it's at the end of the book. And so like the entire time I'm like so sad about like certain events, and then we get to this appendix section, and I'm just like, you're kidding me. That like really changes like a lot of what I felt about this character, because like I was like, I'm fine with him being a shitty character, like I'll love him even if he's a shitty character, because I love some pretty crappy characters, but like there is a line, and he crossed that line, and I don't like him anymore, and he's just a bad character. So yeah, very interesting. So if you hear me saying, oh, I love him so much, I don't. That was pre-confession Hailey. Post-confession Hailey does not stand by him. Anyway, back to the video. He's like one of our main people who will end up leading the revolution thingy, apparently. And I'm really curious to see how he gets in on this with the other character, Peter. I don't know if it's pronounced Peter or Pewter. Pewter. It's Pyotr. I think I've already talked about this, but we're getting a lot with him, and no one really seems to like him very much. He's kind of weird, and he also like doesn't really like his dad, which is valid because his dad like never really cared for him and never really sent him any money or even like acknowledged his existence until like just now. But at the same time, I feel bad for Stepan, the dad, because I'm like, everybody's being mean to him. No one's nice to him. Like everyone kind of just treats him like a child, and they just coddle him all the time, or they're just downright rude to him. And honestly, he is kind of overdramatic, but it's just kind of sad because he's just this old man and no one's nice to him. So yeah, but I'm loving the storyline between Nikolai and there's this woman. There's some stuff going on there, and so I'm curious to see how that's going to pan out when that finally does, because Nikolai wants to say some things, and so I'm curious to see, the results of those things. But yeah, so I have been really enjoying this, and I'm really happy about that. It makes me want to reread The Idiot. I read that in a few vlogs, like at the beginning of the year. Sorry, the cicadas are like so loud outside. But I remember I just didn't like it. All the characters were just so annoying. But then the end of the book, I was like, are you kidding me? If you read it, And so it made me rethink the entire novel. And now I'm like, man, that was actually kind of good. And so now I'm like, I just want to reread that now. And then I'm having a good time with this. So maybe Dostoevsky is the author for me. Hello everyone. So it is Friday evening. Actually it's not really evening yet, it's still Friday afternoon because it's 4:40. It's about to be evening. But me and the dog just got back from our afternoon walk. I've been walking a lot because this dog likes walks actually. He's really good on walks, like does not react to anything, although today I found his trigger and it's lizards, and we happened to see 2 lizards. And I wasn't expecting him, but he just like bolted across the, street, not like across the street, but on the sidewalk. And I wasn't expecting that because he's never reacted to anything. Like he sees people and he's just like, okay. And then he'll see other dogs and he's like, that's nice, and just keeps walking. He does like to sniff people though. And we did pass a couple that was like looking at like a house. And I was like, I'm sorry, but luckily he's not like too interested, like you can just be like, hey, come on, let's go. And he goes. So walking him has been really nice. And I'm like, I should get a dog that I can walk, Definitely not in the cards right now. I do have 2 little puppies. They're little Yorkies. They aren't puppies. They're 13 and 15, and they're family dogs, but we don't really take them on walks. I'm exposing myself here, but we just don't. Winnie, the younger one, I think she's almost 14 now. She is allergic to everything under the sun. And she also has like irritable bowel syndrome or something's like her stomach acts up all the time. She's just allergic to everything. And she gets really bad asthma. So kind of hard to take her outside. And then Nimsy, the older one, has like 3 slipped discs in her back. And so she can move around and like she's still fine. And like in the morning, she's so happy for like breakfast or like dinner. She's so happy for dinner and she's like frolicking everywhere. But like if she overdoes it like with like a walk, then like the next day like she will not move at all. So we just don't like to overtax them. One, because of health issues. Well, I guess they're both health issues, but yeah, so we don't really take them on walks. Occasionally, sometimes me and my sister will kind of do that to get them out of the house and, experience something new, but typically we don't take them on walks. They are also getting cataracts, like early stages, so trying to stay out of the sun because of that. But anyway, the dog is eating his food right now. We'll probably go to another WALK probably just before sunset. I've been kind of doing it around like 7:45 and kind of doing like a longer walk. I've been knitting and everything. I just finished the last row of like increases, so if you're not a knitter this really won't make sense, but I'm making like, this is a cardigan actually that I'm gonna like cut into to make a cardigan, like to open the front up, because the way you make a cardigan and the way you make a sweater is slightly different. And if you make a sweater like this where it's in this giant circle, then you can just do the same stitch over and over again. Whereas if you're doing a cardigan, it's like open, like a cardigan is, and so you have to do different stitches in order to get this stitch. So I'm doing it like this so I can later cut into it. And I've done it like twice now, I think, and it's a lot of fun. The official term is steeking. So, but I've been working on that, and I think I'm going to work on it a bit more because I'm at the point where I can take the sleeve stitches off the needles and like just work on the body. Anyway, so I'm making steady progress through Demons. We're kind of getting some interesting stuff happening. A lot of stuff has happened between Stepan and Vivara, who were kind of like our first characters introduced in this book. And of course, I've been making progress on The Endless Fall. I didn't read 200 pages yesterday either. Let's see, how many pages did I read? I think I just read 20 pages of Demons yesterday, and then I read about 50 pages of The Endless Fall. And so I think I'm like 400 something pages behind if I want to like do like a 14,000 page goal, 1400 page goal, 200 pages every day for 7 days. So I'm like 2 days behind kind of in my numbers. Will we, make up those days? I don't know. But I did go to the gym and I read for quite a bit at the gym. I read for about an hour. Of course, the chapter I opened up to first thing at the gym was like an entire smut chapter, and this lady was right next to me and I had to like position my Kindle so like she wouldn't see it, because I just feel awkward reading smut at the gym. But I was like, are you kidding me? I come here and the first chapter is smut, and like now I can't continue the book, and so I was like, I'm just gonna do it, and if anybody has a problem with it, it is what it is. I read let's see, I was on page 290. Okay, so I got to page 290 last night, so then there's 490 pages in this book, so that means I only have 200 pages left. Perfect, right? For today, perfect. I already technically read my like 20 pages of Demons, and I'm about to read 20 more, but I figured we go ahead and just finish the Endless Fall anyway. I've been really enjoying it. I think it's a lot of fun. I don't normally like contemporary romance, but I've been really enjoying this one. I like the two characters, and we're getting a lot with like the familial dynamics right now. Willa's family doesn't really, isn't really telling her stuff. They coddle her, and she's just like, she hates the town. The town doesn't really like her. There was an incident where she was younger, and so everyone just kind of like keeps their distance from her. And we are also getting more of like Riker's half brother? I don't know, his brother, and kind of he seems to be having something going on right now, and so it seems he'll kind of play a big part in this last bit of the book. So itchy. I know you shouldn't keep itching it, that just makes it worse, but I can't help myself. But I think we're going to be getting more of, that stuff. I wonder when the next one's coming out, because this is kind of supposed to be like a prequel almost in a sense. It's going to be 2 books, and the next book apparently is kind of where, I guess it's like the big thing. I don't know. I swear I just saw this one kind of more as like a background about like the 2 characters. So I wonder if by the end of the book they're actually going to like separate, and maybe the second book is them kind of coming back together. So that'll be interesting, because I've never kind of seen it done this way before. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of books like this, but like I haven't really read a contemporary like that before. Normally, you have them, you don't really get like that prequel side of things, you kind of get them after the fact that they've separated. So I'm curious to see if that's going to happen. I won't tell y'all if it does, but yeah, I need to figure out when the next book's coming out, because I don't know when it is. I think this one just came out, but I could have that wrong, so I need to check. But anyway, I have a few more hours of doing nothing until I take the dog on another excursion. So I'm gonna kind of finish up where I'm at with my cardigan on this section, and then we're gonna read a bit of Demons, and then probably start on the Endless Fall, and then maybe after our WALK, I'll come back and finish it. So I'm back with some updates. So, number 1, last night I finished the Endless Fall. 5 stars. Oh my god. I was kind of feeling like 4 stars, but then the ending, I was like not expecting it at all, like whatsoever. And now I have to read the second book. Like, I need to know what happens from here. So yeah, but I really, really loved it. I'd say the characters feel like a little generic. I mean, we do have some like characterization, of course, but I feel like I've read so much that like every character just sounds like another character, I feel like there's only so many things you can do to make a character unique. But I honestly loved it. I love the storyline. We left off on like, it wasn't really a cliffhanger, but like, I mean, maybe it is a cliffhanger, I don't know, but a lot of stuff has been left unanswered. We still don't know anything that was like happening with the town, like all the shadows and like weird people that the characters were seeing, but we do have like a few answers for some things, but not really. We kind of have like half answers. So yeah, maybe if you read these kind of like gothic contemporaries, maybe you might be able to guess the like plot twists and stuff more easily. I don't normally read like books like this, and I read like, you know, happy contemporary romances, so like this kind of just came out of left field with a bunch of stuff that happened in the last 100 pages, but I loved it so much, so 5 stars. Can't wait for the next one. Yeah. Oh, so I read 200 pages yesterday. I finished up The Endless Fall, which was exactly 200 pages, and then I read 50 pages of Demons, so I've read 250 pages, so very proud of that. So yeah, and so today I've read 30 pages of Demons, and I've read 30 pages of Ice Planet Barbarians. Actually, 33 pages. That's right, people, I'm reading Ice Planet Barbarians. I just kind of wanted a quick book, and this one's only 188 pages, and obviously went viral on TikTok like in the past couple years, and like the covers got like a whole kind of rebrand, and a lot of people say they just started as fun, and the next thing you know, you're 20 books in and you're loving it. So we'll see if I am part of those people. Essentially we start kind of right off with the main character Georgie being abducted by aliens. And so she's in like this holding cell on a spaceship, and there's actually a couple other girls around her. They're all like 22, single, living on their own, no children for some reason. So they're all on this ship together, and it's kind of really crap conditions. I believe, like, I was looking on Reddit at like the trigger warnings, and I believe the paperback version completely cuts out like an essay scene that happens between like pages 9 and 12, whereas the Kindle version does have it in here. So if you do end up reading it, just kind of be cautious of that. You can skip past it. I don't think it has like a huge impact on the story from what I've read. I think they'll maybe just like reference it, you know, once or twice, but so far like it's not like an integral part of the story. It's just kind of showing the brutality of the aliens that they've been kidnapped by. Kind of within these first 30 pages, the ship like crashes and lands on this icy planet. And so all of the girls are kind of injured in some sort of way. And so Georgie is kind of like the least injured. I think she has like a broken wrist and maybe some ribs broken. And so she offers to kind of go and kind of scope out the area. She's also kind of being seen as like the leader of the group now, because of a few events that happened. And so now she's out on the town on this ice planet, and she gets caught in like a prey trap, and that's kind of where I'm at. And we finally get the guy's perspective. I forgot what his name was. Vector? It's not Vector. Oh, yeah. Vectel, not Vector. Oh, yeah. He finds her, and he's like, oh, let me protect her. He instantly feels like, you know, like mating feelings, you know, alpha male kind of stuff. He also thinks that she might be like the young version of a particular alien species. So he's like, I need to protect her if she's like this defenseless, you know? So he takes her to this cave, and now he's like kind of examining her because he doesn't know what she is. He's never seen her before. And all meanwhile, she's like knocked out, and he's just kind of like, wow, she's so defenseless. And so, I can't believe I'm reading this. But eventually he his like mating like bond like thing kind of wakens and is like, oh yeah, this is my mate. And so Georgie wakes up to him going down on her, and that's kind of where I'm at. So a little interesting, curious to see how this is going to go, because obviously this is a little funky with the consent right now, so we'll see how Georgie ends up feeling. Obviously he should not be doing this, so we'll see how this goes. Just like quick glancing through, she seems to not care. I'm like, gosh, I need to get this book done now so that way I don't have to read it at the gym. I had to stop reading this because obviously now we're into spicy scenes, you know? But anyway, so I guess I'm gonna read my smut book and just hang out here for a little bit. The owners of this dog don't come home until 8, and my other house that I'm doing, the owners won't leave for like another hour, so I'm just gonna kind of hang out here and then maybe take the dog out one more time, and then head over to my other house, and then we can read my serious classic. tired. It's 4 p.m. and I want to go to bed. I have been home for a little bit. I left pretty early from my second house job sitting because the owners were coming back at like 10. So I left at like 8:30, met with my mom, ate breakfast, and then I just kind of bounced around town for a bit because I was trying to go to the library, right? So I could pick up some new books because it's June. I haven't picked up any library books in a while, and I wanted to get some like sapphic library books that I've been wanting to read. And so I went to the library and forgot that like my local library is closed on Sundays. And so then I was like, okay, well, let me see if I can find like what books, like where these books are at, you know, just to make sure that if I do go to a different library, I'm not driving out there, you know, for no reason, because I live very far from pretty much anything. Yeah, I ended up finding one library that had, you know, all the books I wanted actually, and so I was like, okay, great, I'm gonna go. And it was a library that I studied at quite a bit during my master's. I would kind of make a day trip out of it because it was so far away that I would go and stay from when they opened to when they closed. And so that library is open on Sundays. However, not today. I don't know why. I went all the way over there and they were closed, and I was like, what the heck? So I don't know if like they're doing like a summer break kind of thing, or maybe it's like summer hours. I didn't think they did that for summer because I don't really remember that from last year, but yeah, so strange. I don't know if I'm gonna get to 200 pages today, if I'm being completely honest. We'll see what happens, but this may be, I think this is gonna be like the last day of the video, so yeah, y'all may see me tomorrow with like final updates. I don't know if I'll film them tonight. I made it to page 450 of Demons. I read 50 pages yesterday, and we're finally getting into like the nitty-gritty of stuff. We are in like a meeting with all like the revolutionaries, so we're finally seeing everybody. And Peter, Verhovinsky, Stefan's son, he's cracking me up like so much. He's so funny. You know, people are like talking and like someone's going on like a big, you know, spiel, and like he's like asking for stuff, and like the person speaking like stops, and Verhovinsky goes, "It's nothing, continue, I'm not listening." And then he's like interrupting, he's like, "Does anybody have a nail trimmer?" And then there is this other part where this woman, I don't want to get too into like who's doing or like a part of the meeting just in case it's like spoilers, but there's this woman asks like, who wants a meeting? And so people raise their hand, right? And one person doesn't, and but then he goes, "I vote for a meeting." And she was like, "Well, why didn't you raise your hand?" And he was like, "Well, I was watching you, so like you didn't raise yours, so I didn't raise mine." And then she goes, "How stupid, the reason I didn't raise mine was that I made the proposal." And then also they're trying to like drown out, you know, they're speaking with like noise, and so someone is like, "Somebody play music." And so one of the characters goes, "Oh hell," and then sits down at the piano and began to bang out a waltz recklessly, virtually pounding the keys with his fist. And so this whole scene has been hilarious, and I've been loving it. So yeah, so we'll see if I can read 50 more pages today. I'm gonna try. I think this is what I'll focus on today. But I did finish Ice Planet Barbarians. Honestly, it wasn't bad. I can see why people like it. It's written okay, you know, but it is just kind of your basic like Harlequin romance where like it's smut. Like that's about it. Yeah, I will keep reading today, and I think tomorrow I'll check in with like final page counts and everything to let y'all know what I've read and a bit of a recap. I feel like this week has passed by so fast. But yeah, anyway, so I will talk to y'all in a bit. All right, hello everyone. Please ignore all the clothes in the background. I need to clean my room. If you hear noise also, it's my dogs. I'm always like apologizing for something, but anyway, hello, hi. So it is like a week later. I have been editing this video, and then I realized I never filmed an outro to update y'all on all the books that I read. So I thought we could go through them. That is my dog, bless her. So this vlog was me trying to read 200 pages a day. I will put what I ended up reading here on the screen. I think there might be a few page like discrepancy like in the numbers specifically, just because my math has been pretty bad lately. But I did not end up meeting the goal every day. Some days were just too busy, or other days I honestly just wasn't feeling it. Honestly, on work days, I cannot read 200 pages unless I like start reading as soon as I get home. And you know, I want to do other stuff. I want to knit. I also just had a bit of a busier week with like dog sitting. I say busy, I'm still, you know, sitting on my butt most of the time. Yeah, anyway, so not quite 200 pages every day, but we did read 200 pages on quite a few days. On Sunday though, I did not read anything. I was just kind of like burnt out with reading. I really wanted a break, so I did not read anything Sunday. So I finished 4 books in this video, right? Yeah, 4 books in this video, so that's still really good. So Monday I started off strong and I finished Deepen by L.A. Hazelwood. I loved it. I had a lot of fun. It is so hot in here. I think I'm gonna turn on the fan. I always love a good L.A. Hazelwood book most of the time. They just get me out of a reading slump, and it's just a lot of fun, and so I did really enjoy it. This book, is it the same book that she writes every time? Yes, but I still really enjoyed it, and I kind of want to reread The Love Hypothesis now because there are some cameos in Deep End with the characters in The Love Hypothesis, and so I'm like, ooh, I kind of want to reread that because my plan was to read Love Theoretically at the beginning of the school year, but I'm kind of thinking maybe I'll do The Love Hypothesis because I kind of want to reread that one. I haven't read that one, or like reread it before since I first read it. And then the second book that I finished in this reading vlog was The Endless Fall by Emerson Hoyt. This came out recently back in April, and now I have to wait a really long time for the second one. I have no idea when it's coming out, but the author is currently writing it, and I loved this book. Again, I don't really read a lot of contemporary romance. It's just not really my genre, but I had so much fun with this one. I loved like the bit of the gothic vibes. I really liked the 2 main characters. I loved, you know, the story and kind of what everything like Willow was dealing with. All the things Willow was dealing with. The ending threw me for a loop. Maybe if you read, you know, gothic contemporary romances and, you know, I guess darker romances. I wouldn't say it's a dark romance, but maybe in the second book we might get into that just because of how, well, I don't know. But just how it ended, like, it's not like a typical romance, I'll say. And so, yeah, I really loved it, and I cannot wait for the next book. As soon as it gets uploaded to Kindle Unlimited, I will be reading it. Yes, I will. So, very excited for that to come out, and I think this is kind of when we'll actually get the real story. I think I mentioned this before, and I'm not sure where I saw it, but I think this first book almost acts as like a prequel, because like we did not figure out anything about like, you know, the gothic stuff happening in the town, you know, with the masked figures, with kind of the ritualistic kind of stuff going on, the animals kind of being taken apart. We haven't figured out anything with that. It was mainly, you know, setting up the romance, and so the second book will of course explore the romance a bit further. Stop eating your feet. It will of course keep, you know, the romance going, and then I guess completely, you know, like solve, you know, what's been going on, because actually the first book starts out like 7 years in the future, or I guess present day, and then the rest of it's the past. I don't know. So we have like a scene of Willa when she's older, actually, and kind of, I'm curious to see how we'll get into that situation, because obviously she's a bit older and she's in a career path now, so that'll be interesting to see, you know, why she chose it. I mean, I feel like it's a little bit obvious why, but then, you know, kind of her journey through that maybe. So yeah, very excited about the second book. The third book I finished was Ice Planet Barbarians, which was just a silly, goofy time. Nothing really special. But if you kind of want a palate cleanser book, I'd say it's a lot of fun. And I do think I'm going to read the second book just because it's a trope that I like. You know, it's kind of enemies to lovers, or like hate to love, not necessarily enemies. And I just love a good bantering. Like, I love when 2 characters banter. It makes me, like, you know, giggle and kick my feet and everything. So I think I will read the second book at some point. I don't know if I'll continue after that. Maybe I will. Maybe we'll just casually read the series, but I think it'll just be like a Kindle kind of series. I don't think I'm gonna get, I don't really feel the need to buy the series like physically, so yeah. So anyway, did enjoy that. but it was just kind of like a basic, you know, Harlequin romance. We really didn't get a lot of characterization. Like, we don't really know anything about Georgie's past, and we don't really know anything other than what, you know, the author is stating, and the characters are pretty one-dimensional, I feel like, so nothing too crazy, but I did still really enjoy it. And I have a theory about why they crashed onto this planet, which I feel like it's probably going to be right. I feel like it's pretty obvious just based on what happened at the end of the book. So maybe eventually in a couple books it'll be revealed, or maybe even in the next book. I don't know kind of what the storyline is going to be for the next, you know, couple books, because there's quite a few in this series. So I'm curious to see how like the storyline goes specifically, not just like the couples. So I'd say I give it like 3 stars. It's nothing, you know, not like a bad 3 stars. It's like a fine 3 stars. It's like meh. Last but not least, I read Demons by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I did not finish it in the video, however, now that it's been like a week after, I did in fact finish the book. I was originally planning to read this throughout the rest of June, so May and June, but I just kind of wanted to be done with it. I've noticed that when I have classics that are this big, like I'm fine reading them for like a month, but then after like a month, I'm like, I need to like get going on this and finish it up. So I did finish it up. Gosh, I don't know where we left off, but just a lot of things have been happening, and of course this is absolutely insane. I kind of hate, okay, so my favorite character was Stavrogen, and now I kind of hate him, but also he's such an interesting character if you really want to analyze it, because he's like, God, there was some really good Reddit post about it, but there's like a confession chapter at the end where he's like talking with the priest and he talks about some things, and that chapter just made me rethink the entire novel, and especially the ending. The ending, oh my God. I was just like, you're kidding. But yeah, I'm just like still reeling over this. This was a 5 stars, but at what cost? That is the question. Like I've mentioned multiple times now, I read The Idiot, didn't enjoy it, but then the ending really like changed my whole thinking about the book. So maybe that's just a Dostoevsky thing. I do think like the characters in that book just are like a bit too much. I think that's like really why I didn't like it. It's just like the characters were flip-flopping the entire time. But I think now if I read it like knowing what happened and everything, I would enjoy it a lot more, and it would probably be like a 5 stars or something, or at least like a 4 star. Definitely not a 2 like I initially rated it, but Demons is definitely a 5 star. So even though I didn't finish this in the video, I've now since finished it, and yeah, I love it. Also, it wore so nicely. I love, you know, Penguin classics with the black spine, how they age. I intentionally break the spine when I read classics just because it's easier, you know, to write in here. And so I always enjoy doing it with the Penguin classics because it just looks so good. So yes, those are all the books that I read in this video. And yeah, overall, really great, you know, reading week. I had a lot of fun, and I am very excited to keep reading. It's June, so it's Pride Month, so I'm doing my Sapphic readathon, which is the 2nd year that I'm doing this. Currently I'm reading Locklands by Robert Jackson Bennett, and I am dying. I am freaking out. I'm almost done with it. I should have it done like tonight or tomorrow. Gosh, I can't believe I'm almost done with that series. But I of course have my TBR of Sapphic books, and I think what I'll probably do is once I edit this video, I will start I want to like start like a Sapphic reading vlog, just reading my Sapphic books. So yes, anyway, I think that is everything for this video. So let me know if y'all enjoyed it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know if y'all have read any of the books I read recently maybe, or if you have any, you know, recommendations based on what I read. I'd love to hear them. And yeah, I think that is everything. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!